So here we go. All right, I was trying to set this up so that like I can like, what can you say? So I can like make the pictures appear after I'm done talking about this one. I can like make the other ones appear, and it'll just be like in the order that I want to, I guess you could say. Makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, so I don't know what her name is yet. I was forgetting before, like, what's her name, but I had one in mind, and Juliet was actually the one in mind. So right now, I guess we'll call her Juliet. I don't know if that's going to be her name forever. I might change it. Actually, I don't know. I think Penelope. I like that name. So it's but I like Juliet. Okay, so we'll see. It might be Penelope, it might be Juliet. That's what's coming to mind. But we'll call her Juliet for this video. So this is Juliet, and this right here. The reason why like the drawing is like a little scratchy, I guess you could say, is because, I mean, you might know, you might not, but this is a drawing that I did on the idea board. So you remember how like Lana's drawing is over here? Like there's a whole other select few characters that are on this board. But this was actually what I drew her. I tried drawing her quickly on this board and then getting the idea down, because like I had an idea and I was like, oh, I want to like not forget it, right? And that's like part of why I do this, is because I don't want to forget what she looks like. If I have an idea or something like that, I try to put it down and then like have it so like I can expand on it later. Like, you know how like maybe you might know how like the idea works, right? The idea board works. So it's to expand on it later. I drew this on the idea board, so like I can try to like do more of it later. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is Juliet. Now, the name might be a little, I might not be so like sure in the name, but what I am sure on is, so I guess I'll expand on this because it's like relevant to, what can you say, the drawing itself and like what happens. So there's a bunch of worlds, right? There's a bunch of different worlds. This is Lana. She's in Lana's world, right? And what I mean by that is like Lana has a world that she's in, a story that she's a part of, and Natalia is in that too. But the thing is, Natalia goes to other stories. What I was trying to get, my point is, what I'm trying to make is, there are these characters, and we'll learn more about them over time. They're princesses, right? They're princesses, but they're also like, they're just kids though. And the way it works is they stay the age 7, right? They stay at the age of 7 years old. They don't get bigger. Like they stay 7 is basically is like what that means. So, but there is another world, and it's like the princess world, right? Like that's where they are, and a lot of them, well, different princesses are there. That's like their world. That's where they stay, and that's where they are. They don't stay there, but that's where that's their home world, I guess you can say, right? So the reason why that matters actually is because Juliet is a princess, right? She's a princess from that world. But here's the crazy part, right? Here's the crazy part is that she actually doesn't know that, right? So the thing about Lana's story and Lana's world is it's a story that happens, right? Lana's in that, and it's a story that happens from beginning to end. Now, Juliet is in that world, and I'm not sure how these characters become princesses yet. I don't know, right? I don't know 100%. But what I do know right now is that Juliet starts out as Juliet, right? Like, and she's in this world. She's in Lana's world. But when the story continues or towards the end, I don't know when it happens, but Juliet becomes a princess character after the story, or like she is a princess character. So there is like the story happens and Juliet is Juliet, but there is a variation of Juliet in this princess world that's like not the same world as Lana's. I hope that makes sense. Like there's one world that's Lana's story world, right? Like it's Lana's world. Like there's like I don't know. There's a bunch of different places in her world, and her story happens, and like there's a bunch of characters in there. But Juliet is one of quite a few princesses in this other world that's a princess world. So to make this make sense is Juliet is the princess of horses. Okay? Think of it like that. She's a prince. Like, they all have like their own like special favorite kind of trait, right? Like a princess of something, right? And they become this character that can appear in other stories and other worlds and other places, and they become this character that, like, normally. So put it this way, actually, Juliet, it's a different version of her, I guess you could say. As far as like now goes, like now it's a different version of her. In a way, I don't know how that's gonna work, and like I don't know if if it'll be the same Juliet. I don't know. I feel like it might be. I don't know. But here, let's not get confused. So Juliet in Lana's world can grow up. Does that make sense? Like she can grow up, and she will, like, she won't stay 7 forever. Does that make sense? But Juliet in the princess world stays 7. Like, so she'll always look like this for them. Like, not like exactly like this, but like she'll always look like she's 7, because they don't go past 7. They're just 7 years old, and they're a princess, and they have like a very special, different, like I guess traits and abilities to themselves, like that make them who they are. So Juliet loves horses. She's very passionate about them and has a very special relationship and cares about them. Does that make sense? Okay. So when the story happens and whatever happens, I don't know, like whatever like happens with that story, but like Juliet she cares about horses a lot. So she becomes the princess of horses. She's a horse prince. She's the princess of horses. Does that make sense? And in like the other, like in the princess world, that's her title. Like that's what she is. She's the princess of horses. So she just so happens to show up. She just so happens to be in Lana's world, but this Juliet right here is a Juliet that I guess doesn't know the other variation of herself, or doesn't know that she's the princess of horses. Like, this is before, like, some princesses in that world go to a world and are already themselves, right? Like, they're already the princess of whatever they are, and they show up there, and then like they have a unique part in the story, or a unique interaction with like maybe the main character or like characters in that world. Like, we'll talk about Giselle, because Giselle is the music princess, and she probably goes to like she has a story with someone else eventually, I think, where she's already like herself, right? Like there was like no, but I think that like what happens with most of these princesses is that they're a character, they have their own origin story, right? So that's what it is. It's like they have an origin story, and at some point they become a princess, and they are who they are in that world. What was I saying? So the princesses can go to a different world, but they are themselves, and they know that they're the princess of whatever they are, like that they are princesses as they go to that world, and they have an impact or some kind of special interaction with some of the characters there. But they all have like, well, not all of them, but like a majority of them have origin stories. And it just so happens that Juliet, right? Juliet here, being the princess of horses, has her origin story, or like starts out like the first time we see her, or the first time she will ever see like where she's from is from Lana's world, but she ends up in the princess world. But I'm thinking that but there's also like a variation of her that grows up if we go like forward in time kind of thing. But this is where she's from. Like, she's from Lana's world, basically. So they have origin stories, where they come from, where they were first, and they end up being princesses that are in the princess world, and they become what they become when they're there. Like, they might be like the princess of something, something they really care about, something that they're passionate about, something that they love. Juliet loves horses, so like Juliet will have like this very close, I guess, like what she like her favorite thing would basically be horses, right? And that's a big part of who she is. Okay. So lack of being able to, like, I guess, describe that. So now that we know that, let's see. I drew this picture because this was like me trying to get the idea down, and we'll move on. Oh yeah, and she's got blonde hair, by the way. So, oh no, let's continue describing this. So, I was talking about origin stories, right? Like, so she's in Lana's world, and Lana at some point, I think, like Lana being this character over here, Lana at some point will probably meet up with her, and this is like how she looks like when she's just a kid, right? But she cares so much about horses, and Lana will probably have like some kind of side quests or quests to help her, because like there might be something wrong, there might be like a horse missing, or like something that like went wrong and she needs help. She can't like she's got a, what can you say, like a big empathy and special sort of like connection relationship kind of thing, or like she understands horses better than other characters do, right? It's something that she can do, and because she cares about them so much, like when Lana, like she might need help, right? Like she might like be she lives in an area where it has like a bunch of horses, and with her family, I think, right? I don't know 100%, but like there's horses there, and that's like her way of life. But she needs help like and it's like a quest that like I guess Lana can help her with, and there'll be like multiple special like little quests there, I guess you can say, and it has to do with, I guess, horses. Does that make sense? And helping her with that. So that, and she originates from that world. I think that's probably, I don't know if there's anything like I don't know if there's anything else I could say about that I want to. I think that's pretty much okay. So Lana's world, and she has some side quests about horses, and you can help her, and Lana gets, and she's able to make a friend, but also learn things that maybe Juliet could teach her, because she was so nice to Juliet, right? Like the option to become like really good friends. Okay. So let's see. After drawing this one, I felt like drawing more because I wanted to like see if I can like draw her at a different angle, and I did. And this is more of like an emotional kind of like scene, right? So I don't know 100% what's happening in this scene. I know it's like a sad moment, right? It's a sad emotional scene, and I don't know if she's saying bye to the horse, or if like something is going to happen to where like they're not going to see each other anymore, or if like one of them is going to disappear. I don't know, but it's like it's an emotional scene, and this is like her having like that understanding for horses that other people just don't, right? And the horse very much understands her. They understand each other. So, and she cares about them so much. So, like, horses are like her one of the, I guess you could say, like the biggest things that she cares about when it comes to like favorite things, right? Like or things that like that make her, I guess, like, what can I say? She cares about horses a lot more than other characters do, right? They matter to her. So, like, I thought it was really cool. Like, you know, the difference with these boots that are here and the boots that are here, like I like these boots better. They I wanted like the design to have like big boots, but not like so big, but like big enough to like, I guess like emphasize that she's just a kid, you know. But she's like on a area where like they take care of horses, and they have horses around, like kind of like a farm kind of area. And I like how this horse was drawn. But the horse is like emotional, she's emotional, she's tearing up, she's a little sad. But it was to capture like the emotion of like something emotional in the story. And you can see how much she cares about horses. This is what that is. And I think I wrote things. Let's see what I wrote here. Okay, let's see, because I wrote this down. Okay, Lana visits her, helps her with unique side quests. Okay. You know, Lana being over here. Yeah, I would say that Juliet has like unique side quests that she needs help with, but you don't have to help her, right? Like this is just something you can. And it's like a storyline that, you know how like side quests work in a game, right? But it's a unique storyline that like Lana gets like probably very helpful things for doing this, right? She doesn't have to, but she can. And she becomes very good friends with Juliet if she's able to do this. And I think part of it is like being able to like tame horses and like and ride them, and probably be very good at it if you help Juliet. And let's see, protects and loves horses. Her empathy for horses, understands them. Yeah, so that's like a big thing that she does, is she protects them, right? And she loves them. She like she really cares about them, is what I'm trying to say. And she has like a big empathy for them, and she understands them. Wow, I should write things more often. But it's more so than every other character in the game, right? And it's partially why she becomes the princess of horses, because like it means so much to her, you know. And she's like on a ranch with her family I wrote farm, I don't know, from farm ranch, a farm ranch. Oh, okay, I don't know, a farm ranch with her family, and they have a lot of horses there, and yeah, so that's that. So let's put this out of the way because we're gonna need to see. All right, so I drew this one because I don't know. I sometimes I start drawing and then like I go for an emotion as I'm drawing, and I'm like, okay, and then I keep drawing it, and then it becomes a thing, right? Like I don't think that they're necessarily 100% planned. I kind of just go for something. Like I wanted to draw something emotional, and then I figured, oh, let me draw the horse, and then the horse became a thing, and I was like, well, I think I knew I was going to draw the horse, but it became this thing where I was like, oh, this is coming out well. And like you try something and then you really like what comes out. So it's like sort of that thing. Okay, so this, and normally I draw like one or two, or like one, but like, or two, right? For like the idea board, because I want to expand on it later. But I was doing something different here, guys. Actually, with this one, I drew her first picture, and then I wanted to expand on it because I was like, I'm not 100% on like if I want her to look that way, but I want to see what she looks like on a different angle. And then it ended up, but also a different emotion, I guess. And with the other thing, I don't know if you saw the video about Lana, but I drew like 4 pictures of Lana, and that was like not on the idea board, but like on a different like page, right? And I was trying to like bounce back and forth with the poses, and I was trying to like refine her design and try to like make her look cool, or like I was trying to get her to look good in those pictures. But this one is like, this is more scribbly, but it really tells a story, you know? And I like this. I really like this. So I might do more of these just because it's like, it feels awesome. Like this right here tells a story, and I'm able to like, to portray what I'm trying to, like, it helps me learn more about the character, and it takes the pressure off of like trying to draw something perfect, right? So I might do more of these because instead of just going for like the perfect drawing, or going for something more refined, because like when I try to refine something, I'm constantly drawing it, and trying to make it look good. And if I don't like how it looks, I keep drawing on it, and then before I know it, I spend like more than 2 hours, I would say, like on drawings. It takes a long time, but then they end up looking the way I want them to look. Like they look good, but like the Lana picture, like the Lana drawings, like those drawings looked pretty awesome. Like I liked how they ended up, like that they came out, but it took some time, right? And with this, I was able to like draw something, and it just gives me more of like an idea of what the character is. Like, it's like storyboarding, right? Like it's not a perfect drawing, but what it tells you, what it shows you, is very like helpful. And this, so I might do more of these, just like a less pressure, more scribbly, but more like but it gets the idea across kind of pictures, right? Just because it seems fun for me, so I might do that. Let me hold on, I wanted to. All right, let's see. So this picture, I mean, this is not what the fence is going to completely look like, right? Obviously, but it is a fence because there's a fence in her, like her, I guess you could say, farm ranch. And the idea of this fence is it's tall, right? It's a pretty big fence, or it's big, or it's bigger. It's not small. And she's standing on it, as you can see, right? And she's like leaning into it. She's not on the ground. So she is like a kid, right? And because she wants to be on the top of it, she decides to just climb it and to just like hang out up top. When if she stood on like the floor, she probably wouldn't be able to do this sort of like motion, like, you know, leaning into it with like her hand going towards her chin and her elbow going towards like the top of the fence. Like that wouldn't be possible unless she climbed it, right? So that was like the idea of this, is like I wanted her to do this, and she's staring off into the distance. Now she might be staring off into the distance of like maybe Lana riding away, or Lana's like, I think it's more of like a just seeing what's out there kind of thing, and taking a break. Maybe Lana's heading towards like her farm ranch, but maybe she's riding away, and this is just like the sort of end of this quest for now until like she comes back. And I drew like a pocket on the dress right there. Do you see that? Like there's like a line right there. I drew that because let me see if I could like put it on this one. Can I put it on this one? I could probably put it on this one. Let me paste it here. I cut it off. Okay. So it's like a pocket, right? I thought this would be helpful for like when she's doing like her activities, like around the farm ranch. And I think I might keep that. But I was really happy with this picture. Like this just seems like she's relaxed, just staring off into the distance. Like her braid is just like long and it goes over. Like it is like I kept the shoulder there because I wanted like but like I didn't erase it, but like I wanted like the braid to still. I put the braid, you can see the braid too. And this is just calm, peaceful, staring away. Taking a break, just watching what's out there. And this is the type of character that she is. Very, very much about horses. And she's the princess of horses. Only this particular Juliet doesn't know that, or isn't like fully, like she doesn't know that. When you see Juliet go to another world, she might end up in the creature's world, right? Like the creature's world, you know how like Ponafina is not in this world, right? This is not a world that you find Ponafina in. Ponafina is like a different place. Like she's from a different place. Like it's a different, the creatures are in different worlds. But you might see Juliet go to that world, but it'll be like Juliet when she's like the princess of horses, you know, like when she's the Juliet from like the princess world, where there's like a bunch of other characters that are like her, but they're about different things. She might end up there, and she might even like be someone that goes after like creatures that are more like horse-like, and she might have like a special role there. But this Juliet here is like the original Juliet. Does that make sense? Like this is where she starts. This is where she was. This is who she was before the other stuff that happens in other stories when she's the Juliet, like the other Juliet, you know what I mean? Like there's this Juliet, the original Juliet, and then the other Juliet that's always 7 years old, and then she's in different places when she wants to be. But this Juliet does not know anything about the other one, and this is where she starts out. And yeah, so this is Juliet, guys.